Hello and welcome to the Storytelling for the Soul podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Kanata, and this is the place we talk about all things expressive writing and other creative techniques, all with a little bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer thrown in. Buckle up and enjoy. Letting go is not the same thing as giving up. Allow me to explain from a creative perspective, and I'm going to focus and hone in on writing because that's what I love to do. I would say that's my main creative outlet, and it has been for pretty much my entire life. And shout out to the book, the very famous book, Atomic Habits, because some of what I'm going to talk about really aligns with James Clear and what he talks about in that book. But let me start with a story. And hopefully this story helps you to see that things not going to plan, things not turning out the ideal way, doors not opening, that kind of thing is not just happening to you. It happens to all of us. And the reality is the more that we venture outside of our comfort zone and try new things, the more that likely things are not going to go to plan. My story starts a few years back when I agreed to work on co-authoring a book. Now I say a few years back, but in reality it's been so long that I've been working on this book, obviously not full time, but in bits and pieces quite intensely here and there. I believe it's been probably around a few years. Now, this project has had roadblock after roadblock attached to it. I never could have known agreeing to that project, agreeing to be part of that project, what would unfold. I would say in hindsight and with much more life experience now under my belt, I would say that I went into that project rather naively. It came from a good place, but tell me if this happens to you because it's certainly a pattern with me. When I really, really want something in life, I put my blinkers on, my blinders on, blinkers, whatever you want to call it. And the questions that I ask usually are not necessarily there. And it's almost like I have tunnel vision and ignore the warning signs. Anyhow, so I've been working on this project for a few years, time, effort, energy. I did do it pro bono, which just adds more insult to injury. But I've come to the conclusion over the last month or so, and I can talk about this openly now because I've had that gap to process. I was initially quite shattered. But anyhow, over the last month or so, I've realized that that project, for whatever reason, is never likely going to see the light of day. If it does, fantastic. But in terms of being realistic, with what I know as I record this on the 8th of November 2025, that project will likely sit as a manuscript forever. Now, when this first happened, of course, we got some bad news via an email and I was pretty shattered, and I went into a bunch of what I call inner critic vibing. How could I be so stupid? Why did I think this would ever happen? How could I be so naive? Why didn't I ask X, Y, and Z? I've since moved past that, what I call self-pity phase, and I've moved on, and I've come to this realization because in life we can never see what could have happened. I can't know what may have happened if that book was published. I don't know if it would be how it sits in my head as my big break, or if it would be a disaster and only lead to other problems in life. Potentially that's the case. But anyhow, it has really made me reassess the goals that I'm setting for myself, because in reality, so many things really, but in particular outcomes are completely outside of our control. We can control the actions, and you'd think that, let's use an analogy here, but I'm in Australia, so I'm going to use cricket, but you could apply this to baseball as well. The more you swing the bat, the more likely you are to hit a ball for a six or a home run. And that's kind of how I've come to approach my creative world at the moment. Because the reality is, there is no point in me setting a goal along the lines of, I want 1 million views on this article or blog post by the end of 2026. Or something else like, I want 10,000 paid subscribers on my monthly journal prompts for self-care subscription. That's out of my control. What would be the point of focusing on that? No. So my goals are more attached to my actions. So I'm going to keep on recording the videos for the subscription, the monthly videos and the PDF, like as if I've got 10,000 people in the subscription. I'm going to write every article like it's going to get 1 million views. I'm going to write every sentence like that sentence just might lead to my big break. And I've decided to, as much as humanly possible, and yes, sometimes my head, my ego, let's be honest, gets in the way, but as much as possible, I am actively trying to let go of any attachment to outcomes. Not because I've given up on my dream of, really, I am living my dream because I am writing. I am being read by people. I would love to be read by more people and connect with more people, because to me, that's what writing is all about. I haven't given up on that. I'm still doing the things. I'm still writing articles. I'm still showing up on social media. I'm still doing all the things, but I am letting go of the attachment to outcomes, simply because I have absolutely no control over them. And one of the things about being creative and introspective and an introvert all at the same time is that I have at times spiraled into, what's wrong with me? What, is my work not good enough? Why aren't as many people as I want consuming what I have? And for me, that's a slippery slope, because really that's not what it's about. My primary form of self-expression is writing, has always been writing. It fills my cup. It makes me happy. So I'll continue to do it. And I will not measure myself against vanity metrics or comparing myself to other authors, because what's the point? The only thing that that's going to do is make me miserable, to be honest with you. So I'm going to leave it there. I'd love to hear your thoughts, as always. Feel free to email me, info@sarahkanata.com. You can check out my blog and other work at sarahkanata.com as well. But until next week, I will leave you here.